Well, this here is the BMW X5. Now everyone knows that this is a great driver's car, but what we're here to find out is that is this really a comfortable and refined SUV, and is it really as good as some of its newer and fresher rivals? So let's get started. Well, so as soon as you step inside the cabin of the X5, you will realize what a striking cabin this car has got. Now, in terms of design language, some of its rivals have caught up with the BMW group in terms of overall styling, but when it comes to sheer quality, very few can match the overall materials used inside the cabin of the X5. The top of the dashboard as well as the top of the door panel uses very soft materials. There's loads of leather stitching as well over here, and even the lower end of the dashboard, a place where a lot of people don't pay attention to, is really very solidly put together. So really, attention to detail is paramount inside the cabin of the X5. Well, talking about utility places, you of course get this huge box over here where you can keep your cell phone, wallet and a couple of Diet Coke cans in. It is of course cooled as well, which means that those Coke cans will be very chilled on those long journeys. The door bins are absolutely massive, going by the size of this car on the outside. You cannot house one, but actually two big bottles in them. They really are that huge. But of course, if you want to keep this bottle somewhere else, you can keep it over here in the middle, because you also get two cup holders over here. And overall, as I said, the quality of this cabin is absolutely exemplary. Well, so before you blame me for being very biased towards BMW and start writing in the comments below, I will nitpick and find out one negative about this cabin, and that negative is the fact that the volume control over here is really very small, and it can be a bit fiddly to operate and doesn't really have that same tactile feel of the other switchgear inside the cabin. But is it a deal breaker? Well, no, of course it isn't. I'm just nitpicking at the moment. Well, unlike its rivals, the X5 still offers you analog gauges, and that is something that purists simply love and enjoy about this car. The steering wheel also is really very nice to grip. It's got indents over here, which mean that you can really put in your thumbs inside, and it is a fantastic car for keen drivers. Why? Because the seats also are excellent in terms of their cushioning, the support as well as the comfort. You get these small side bolsters on the side, which means that if you push this car into corners, these seats will hold you well, and the seat scob is really very generous in terms of width as well as length, which means that people who are on the generous side of girth like me will also be comfortable inside the seats of the X5. Well, the X5 also comes with different driving modes. You can of course choose the Sport, Comfort or Eco mode depending on what kind of mood you are in, and you also get this 10-inch screen inside the system, which will help you navigate through all the menus on the BMW iDrive system. And I have to say that BMW's iDrive system is the most intuitive and the most easy system to operate out of all its rivals. Unlike its rivals, which really are very confusing and have menus and sub-menus, this one is very easy even for first-time users. So really, BMW has given very good attention to detail on the iDrive system. And what's more, you can also scribble on top of this little wheel over here and use all the menus on the inside. It really is a very hassle-free system to use. Well, the biggest surprise inside the X5's cabin is the fact that the floor panel is almost very flat, which means that whoever's sitting in the middle has plenty of place to stretch his feet. The footwells also are pretty wide, which means that accommodating the feet of the third passenger should not be an issue in the least. The windows also are nice and big, and the aperture also for entering and exiting the car is pretty good, which means that this is a very easy car to just slide in and slide out of. Now, headroom is massive, knee room also is more than adequate, and I'm going to now shift my seats back because these seats can be slided forward or backwards. The backrest angle also can be adjusted slightly. So in terms of comfort, this car can rival the best in this class, and in fact it can really rival a lot of luxury saloons. Well, but that's not all. You also get this huge panoramic roof, which really adds to the sense of space inside this car, and you also get your own climate control at the back. Now these seats also have a place in them where you can keep your wallet, your important files and other such paraphernalia. So overall, the X5 simply is outstanding when it comes to space and comfort, and yes, it can actually rival some very nice luxury saloons out there. Well, so the X5 that I'm driving right now comes with a 3-liter diesel engine, which makes about 258 bhp of power and about 560 Nm of torque, and these are phenomenal figures to say the least. And all that power is sent to the wheels via an 8-speed automatic gearbox. Yes, it's an 8-speed automatic unit, dual clutch, and it is one of the most quickest weighted gearboxes that I've ever driven. And no matter what mode you're driving on, if you're driving in comfort mode or in sport mode, or even if you decide to shift gears manually, this gearbox really is very sharp and very quick in shifting both up as well as down. The gearbox on this car is as sharp as the sting of a bee. Well, talking about performance is available in absolute bucket loads, and it is really the mid-range where this car's engine delivers a lot of torque. Now, in terms of 0 to 100, BMW claims 6.9 seconds, and that is completely believable because this car will really shove you to the back of your seat with a massive wave of torque after 2000 RPM all the way up to its red line of about 4,500 RPM. But the best part about driving a BMW car is the steering feedback, and the steering wheel on this car, the BMW X5, completely belies its size. It is a 2-ton car, but the steering wheel is as responsive as that on any small sporty hatchback or even a small sporty saloon. Really is a car which completely defies its weight as well as its girth, and the steering wheel, as I said, is really very crisp, and this car does change directions very quickly. Now, it does not change directions as quickly as a housefly because it is a heavy and a bulky car, but even then, for an SUV, the X5 is truly impressive, and I will really stretch out my neck and say that this is the best handling SUV in its segment. It's definitely ahead of the Jaguar F-Pace as well as its rivals from Audi and Mercedes. Well, the steering wheel on this car is very sharp in terms of responsiveness, and it will actually direct this car exactly in the direction you want it to go. Unlike a lot of other steering wheels in this segment which are very flimsy and overtly light, this one has the exact amount of weight. It's neither too light nor is it too heavy, and when you take it out on the highway and speeds build up, the steering wheel tends to add a lot more weight into it, which makes this car feel a lot more confident, inspiring when you are on the highway. And if you want the car to become a lot more agile and a lot more responsive and a lot more sharper than it already is, you need to put this car in its sport setting. And the sport mode also makes the engine and the gearbox feel a lot more agile and a lot more dynamic and a lot more lively. And overall, the X5 feels a lot more livelier than it already really is. But for everyday users, comfort mode really is all the mode you need, because in sport mode, the suspension also stiffens up a bit, and it can get a little annoying sometimes. Well, in terms of refinement and cabin isolation, this car really does cocoon you from the world outside. Once you shut the door, the cabin really is very well isolated from whatever's happening on the outside, and there's no tire, wind or engine noise. There is a little bit of diesel engine clatter when this engine is cold, but of course, once it does warm up and once you are on the highway or are driving in the city, there's a very distant murmur from the engine which enters the cabin, and it's really only the top end of the rev range where you can feel the little bit of buzziness from the engine entering the cabin. Overall, in terms of everyday use, it is a very refined engine. Well, turning into those sharp corners is a very rewarding experience on the BMW X5, because this car really does turn into those corners very well. It really does feel like this car is driving on rails on the road. Handling is absolutely sublime on this car. So overall, in terms of responsiveness, agility as well as overall dynamic handling, the BMW X5 is still the SUV to beat in this segment. It is the top of its class in all the dynamic departments when it comes to keen driving. Well, so in summary, the BMW X5 remains the best choice for keen drivers in this segment. But that's not all. It also offers you a comfortable cabin and a very powerful and punchy diesel engine, along with a very long list of features. So if you are someone who enjoys keen driving more than anything else, then the X5 is your only choice in the premium luxury SUV space. It's bye for now, and hope to see you soon.